Good day, Year 6. I hope you're having a really great week. Looking forward to seeing you guys soon. I hope you're staying safe at home. Today, we're going to continue our investigation into materials, and the title for our lesson today is Common Materials Throughout History. All right. Now, before we get into our lesson today, I just wanted to let you know where we will be putting it from now going forward, as well as on OneNote. It will be on your iLearn. Now, you guys should all be familiar with your iLearn pages. Hopefully, you recognize this one here. If you're in Mrs. Doherty's class, you especially should recognize this page, as this is your PC page. Now, in PC, you have learning activities, and I can see that Mrs. Doherty's class has been finishing their activities off really well. My task is down here in our integrated unit, Science with Mr. Mac Week 2. And so you can actually access this task, including the video that you're watching right now. It will also be available on this. So that is where you need to go to download your worksheet for today and to access the important link with all of the materials and resources that you need to have a look at. Very exciting stuff. All right, back to the lesson. Before we do go back to the lesson, also today you do need to submit your work by clicking on Create a Submission and clicking there to upload your file. So I can press on Common Materials and press Upload to be able to actually submit my work so that I, your teacher, know that you have submitted that task. So you can see submission by Hugh McIntyre on May 5th, 2020, 4:44 p.m. How's that? And that's how you can complete this task too. All right, now we can go back to the lesson. So last week we looked at different types of materials that are commonly used, things like plastic, cement, metal, etc., etc. Glass was on there as well. There's a real multitude of different materials that are very commonly used. Especially as we become more advanced technologically and we can actually make new materials ourselves. Our overview, though, today is not to look forward at what materials we are going to make in the future, but rather to have a look and see where we've come from and what design looked like throughout time and how it's changed and how the materials that we actually use for different things has changed as well. So our lesson overview for today is this. This activity provides opportunities for students to explain why common materials have been used in particular situations throughout history. And our learning goal is for you, the students, to discuss and illustrate uses of materials from historical contexts. Now, this is an important point. Discussing things is really important, and I'm betting that you're missing that aspect of school. Today, if you're able to, feel free to complete this lesson whilst on Zoom with a friend or classmate, so that you can actually talk about these different things as you investigate them. All right, so the use of materials and the materials used for particular purposes have changed over the years. Some examples are provided at the website below. Now, when this says below, it means below on your iLearn and OneNote page, not below down here. And I'm going to show you that web page now. This website, which is linked on the iLearn and OneNote page, is a UNSW, University of New South Wales, fact page, which actually shows you how different materials have changed over time. It actually shows you, and as you can see, we've got the Bronze Age here, the Iron Age, the Roman Age, the Industrial Revolution, the Technology Age, and each of these videos on the right and these blurbs on the left tell us a little bit about the age, the period of time that we're studying, and what kind of materials were prolific or very common, and also what they were used for. Now, if you want to do further study, I would definitely encourage it because there is so many fascinating things to find out about these times, and they actually lead into why certain materials like gold and silver are still valuable today. It's not because they're particularly useful these days, but because they were very useful a long time ago, and they've since carried their value into the modern era. Now, have a look at those videos because you need to know that information before you can move forward into our activity today. And whilst we're talking about it, let's go back and see what our activity is. So our question, the first thing that we need to complete is this. Question 1. On your worksheet, write the name of the age that you think is most influential to the development of modern society and at least 2 reasons why. So if we have a look, you might think that the Bronze Age is the most important age. And what you need to do is investigate the Bronze Age and give 2 reasons why you think it is the most important age to the development of modern society. So if you think it is the most important step that we have taken as a human race to get technology to and design and building and materials to where they are now, then you could choose that and list 2 reasons why. Pretty simple. If you have any issues though, I am on help desk from 2 till 4 every day from Monday through to Friday, and I'm happy to help you out. The second task and your final task for today is this. Once you've finished answering about your favorite age, fill out the timeline task on the attached worksheet. Now, I'll get that worksheet up for you now so that you can see what I am talking about. So here's the worksheet here, and you can see that there is a link to the resources that I've just shown, as well as the questions that I spoke about before. Finally, here is the timeline. Now, I apologize, it's not super pretty, but I'm not sure if I am able to make a timeline that you can type into that is. So I apologize for that. So it says, in this pre-made flowchart / timeline, fill in the name of the age and significant materials that were discovered or used during the time in the boxes below. Now, I've given you some handy hints. I have written down 3000 BC to 753 BC and 1760. Now that would be AD, or you could even put CE as in Common Era. Common Era is the period of time that records the years that we're in now. So 2020 is 2020 years since the Common Era or the Modern Era began. Whereas 3000 BC can also be called 3000 BCE, which stands for 3000 years before the Common Era. So 3000 BCE is actually a longer time ago than 753 BC. It's confusing, right? Regardless, you need to write down the name of the age. So it could be the Bronze Age or the Industrial Revolution or the Technology Age, whichever of those you think goes in each spot. And then write down when it started and what are the materials that were discovered or used during this age. So if there's only one, then you can write that down, as well as something that was invented. Or if there were multiple materials, you can write down the multiple materials. And that is it today, guys. What I really want you to focus on is making sure that you're submitting your task onto iLearn. And that way I'm able to mark and give feedback to your task really, really easily. I hope you're all doing well, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care, guys.